Yeehaw! Yes, I have one for each of you. 2 new Ruger Wranglers. Yes, got a left-handed model and a right-handed model. Pretty cool, aren't they? You want to go up here and talk about them and let me show them to you? Well, let's do that. We'll go back to the shooting table and show you what I've got. Not only do I have 2 of them, I have 3 of them in all the colors that are available, I think, as far as I know. So yeah, you all have been requesting that we get the Ruger Wranglers and shoot the things, and that's what we have been doing. So it comes in a lot of different colors, and I just request. Yeah, these are great guns. They seem to work, and you can dual wield them or triple wield them, whatever you want to do. Have one for each hand. Pretty cool, huh? Now, for the few of you, and I guarantee you there are a few, maybe it's 1 person, maybe 3, who believe that business about this one being ambidextrous, this one being a right-handed gun, and this one being a left-handed gun. Well, sorry, that's just more dad jokes from me. They're all ambidextrous. How's that? Sort of, right? The loading gate is on one side, but they're ambidextrous. So they have empty shells in them, and when you open up the loading gate on these, it opens the cylinder, it deactivates everything, and just like any of the newer Rugers since about what the early 70s. Okay, before that they were like a Colt. You had to half cock them, and they operated just like a Colt, but they went to the new action. So you just open up the loading gate, and then you can spin the cylinder, load it, unload it without touching the trigger or the hammer. Okay, so kind of a safety thing. It's a different sort of mechanism. But they, other than that, they're a single action, right? I think I read this, the first single action Ruger's come out with new, about 50 years or more. You know, this is kind of a low-end version of the single 6, basically, with a cast frame and everything. I always want to cock it. So these sell, I think, for about half of what the single 6 does. They I think the MSRP is $250 maybe, so I'm not sure what they're selling for. Maybe get them for close to $200, $199, I don't know. Ruger's kind of an expert at this one wasn't loaded, at providing a firearm that works at low cost. And you know, I know we bring out some really cool, expensive firearms from time to time, but we like to also bring out the low-end firearms. And a lot of people, this is all you need. You can go out and plink with 22 anyway. It's not exactly going to be a high-pressure round and put a lot of stress on the firearm. So the fact that it's a cast frame and it just doesn't really matter in a 22, does it? Doesn't matter even in some bigger firearms if it's made well. It does have a cold hammer forged barrel, and you can feel the weight of the barrel and the cylinder. So it's not like it's going to blow up or fall apart on you, or it's not safe just because it has a cast frame. But it's, you know, it's less expensive to make, of course, that way. And I've already got gunpowder residue on me, right? I might fail a gunpowder residue test. I would guess that any day in my life for the last 60 years, I would have failed a gunpowder residue test. But it's cool if you like single actions. You know, this is a single action in the old West tradition. Yeah, I mean, you know, you saw me unload it and everything. It's a little newer design in that you don't do the half-cock business. You know, the firing pin's not on the hammer or any of that, but it's a single action. And with a 22, for the most part, it is just fun and plinking, isn't it? It's not a defensive firearm. Most cases, one of these would not even be a hunting firearm. Okay, could be, you know, but it's just fun plinking at the range. And if you've never had a single action 22, and there's lots of them out there, and a lot of them are inexpensive, and now Ruger's entered that market with these. It's kind of a cool way to go plinking. Be a cowboy, plinking with 22. So yeah, they MSRP is around $250. They come in these 3 finishes. It's Cerakote, okay, That's not the metal you're looking at. They're Cerakoted. So whatever your experience is with Cerakote, I've not had many firearms that were Cerakoted, but it's going to wear a little differently. I don't know if it matters. Like this one they call silver, and that's burnt bronze. This one's probably called black, but you got a choice there of colors. And if you and your spouse or friend both want one, you can get them different colors. You can keep them separate, right? Or you can have one for certain days for barbecues that looks a little prettier, and another one to throw in the tackle box when you go fishing. I don't know. Again, they're not very expensive, so you got that going. And I have taken, let's see, I don't know if I've taken all three of them apart or not, but my experience has been like that. Look how easily that came apart. Now, that's no big deal maybe to you, but I have a long history with single actions, Colts, Rugers, otherwise. And there's nothing more frustrating with a single action if when you try to get the base pin out, if it hangs and it's hard to get out, because you can't get much leverage on it. If you look at old Colts at a gun show sometime, you'll see a lot of them really boogered up under that barrel where people are taking a screwdriver and try to pry that thing out. So it's always cool when the machining is precise and there's enough of a tolerance there that you don't have any issues with that. Because the dirtier it gets, the more of an issue that can be, of course, right? So they come apart and go back together just fine. You just have to get the base pin lined up, of course. I don't think I've taken this one apart yet. This pretty burnt orange one. Yeah, same thing. Smooths right out, comes right out. I'm not sure which color I like the best. I think we're going to hang on to this burnt bronze one for a chapter 2 later. We might even do a comparison with some other firearms in the market. Man, not to say we won't shoot it today. I've fired all 3 of them. But what you'll see, we'll send these 2 back, and you'll see one or both of them, I don't know, on the e-gunner, with buds. That's their thing. And then this target we'll throw in there, just like we always do. And again, 10% of that goes to the Middle Tennessee Second Harvest Food Bank and everything, just like with our t-shirts and everything. So these 2 will go back, and you'll see those soon, I guess, with them. And we'll hang on to this one, do a chapter 2 and do some other stuff. We have a couple of things we might want to compare it with, okay? But I might shoot it today anyway. In fact, let's do that. Let me load it up. All right, big 22 rounds. I guess I make light of these in some ways, although Dad had a 22 single action. I can't remember who makes that. High Standard, maybe. It was a single action, and we loved that thing. Never any trouble with it. It wasn't quite authentic. I think it had a swing out cylinder, but it was a single action, and it just worked great. And we had fun with that. I'm so used to shooting the big stuff, 45, that it just feels so weird to load one of these. Man, I haven't even shot a 2-liter yet. What's wrong with me? Oh, yeah. Oh. Okay. Let me open up the thing here. You know what I did? I was messing around with this thing, and I didn't get the base pin back in. I pulled it out a little bit just to see if it would, if it was loose like the others and worked fine, and I didn't get it locked back in. So now I have an empty chamber somewhere. That's good, though. It's good training, because I'm going to get a click instead of a bang somewhere along the way here. Probably a couple of times, right? Boom! Ah, look at him. Oh, there it was. All right. Another one. Woo-hoo! Look at that. Sometimes a 22 does the best job on these things. I'm going to hit that hog if I have any ammo left. All right, he's dead. He's dead. There we go. So again, that was me. Oh, that time. So open up this, push the button. Yep, comes out just fine. Okay. Now actually you could unload it that way, but that wouldn't make much sense, would it? Because if you had a little stick to run through there. I had a single action. In fact, it was my first handgun I ever owned, and you had to do that. It didn't have the ejector rod on it. It had a short barrel. Back in, oh man, I bought that thing in like 1971, and I had to take, I don't know if I remember if I don't guess I had to take the cylinder out, but I had to get a stick or something to punch those out. So cool thing about these is the stick is built in, right? So you just punch them out. Old Sam Colt thought of that. Well, I guess he did. Actually, it was his heirs, I suppose, successors, because Sam died before the single action came out with cartridges. Let's load both these back up. All right, so what did I not tell you about? I'm telling you the price, the finish, Cold Hammer forged barrel. Just an inexpensive version of the single 6 is what you have here. And my experience with them, I've shot them a few times, all of them, not hundreds of rounds, but they seem to be well made. Okay, you may not like the materials they're made of, but you know, for whatever reason, the Cerakoting or the alloy and the cast materials and everything, but they seem to be machined well, and there's not had any issues with them. It's just you can give me a single action, and if I'm shopping for a single action, a Colt or whatever, I'm looking at one, whatever, I always want to take that cylinder out, take the base pin out, just see how it functions and whether there's any problem. And these are just seem to be in good shape. Okay, so let's shoot these things. I didn't wear my holster rig. I should have. Let's just take them both out here. First of all, whenever you do that, you have a problem. You just don't have a holster. You got hands full. All right. All right, what should we shoot? How about a couple of rounds on that target? That will be in the box with one of these. Put another one on him. All right. How about a bowling pin? I missed it. Like I had to tell you. Wow. Oh, there's one down there. Let's pick him off. Yee doggies. There's one over there. I don't know if I can hit him left-handed or not. I gotta watch this with two guns. Missed him. All right. Plate. Plate. I got one more. No, I don't. Boom. Okay. Now, when you get two firearms in your hands, it can be problematic a little bit. So let me shoot one of them once again here and see what other lies I can make up about these. If you've got any cowboy in you, or you've got a little cowboy around the house, or cowgirl around the house, oh man, perish the thought letting a youngster fire an evil weapon, right? But in the real world, of course, we do that, right? I saw a posting as a little side, maybe it was Coleo Noir, something about how there are 300 million guns in the world, in this country, and it's actually more than that, I think. And there are all these trillion rounds of ammunition, in our hands. If guns were the problem, we would know it. I thought that was a great poster or whatever it was. So anyway, we folks in the real world, just like I did with John and you do with your youngsters if you have them, or if you are a youngster, many of your parents have taken you shooting, and it's not something that just gives you cold chills like it does some people. But yeah, these actually would be great for a youngster that's old enough to be safe and has been trained and everything. It's a cowboy firearm, and it's neat. You're going out with a 22 just to plink at cans or something anyway, and why not be a cowboy while you're doing it? That's that's the way I look at it. Be Wyatt Earp, okay? You don't need to. I mean, semi-automatics are fun too. Semi-automatic 22s are a lot of fun, but so are these, And I think also, when people are just youngsters, especially just getting into shooting, I think there's something to be said for their learning on a firearm that maybe is not semi-automatic. That you got to go through a little bit of a process to get 5 or 6 shots and to unload it and shoot it, and that time is not all that bad, because it forces you to kind of appreciate the firearm, the loading process, and you're not just spraying ammo with it, you know. So I think that's good. That, you know, and then having to take careful aim and, you know, learning how it works. Plus, you're introducing them to the old west, so to speak. Okay. So anyway, my take on these is they seem to work fine. You know, you might think the colors are ugly. I don't know that I would buy one personally, but that's only because I guess I don't have a lot of place for one, really. I mean, I might. I don't know. It was a kind of an afterthought. But you know, for what they are, they seem nice. They seem well made, and you know, they work, and they got a pretty good look about them. I don't know. Down the road, we'll know if the Cerakote is a problem. I don't guess it is. Cerakoting is nothing new. You know, you may have it on your AR-15 or whatever, but mechanically they seem sound and well made. You know, the joints and the fitting and everything seems to be fine. Notice they got little, instead of regular screws, looks like a star nut there. I don't think it, yeah, I think it's a star. It's kind of different. But, you know, they seem to be well made. You know, so, and there you go. There's not a lot of money in them, so, you know, it's not like it's an $800 firearm. But I'm impressed with the mechanics of them, all three of them. They just, you know, they seem to be well made and, you know, come apart like they're supposed to, and easy to put back together. And so the cleaning and everything doesn't seem to, you know, like it'd be any kind of special problem or anything. And of course, with a revolver, you can fire any kind of ammo virtually, you know, shorts, long rifles, whatever, premium ammo, cheap ammo. With that single action hammer, it's going to hit the cartridge pretty hard, so it's probably going to fire if it's fireable. So great, maybe a great way to introduce somebody to the Wild West through a 22 single action, you know, without paying the price you have to pay for a Colt, if you could find one of those, or even a single six. They make the new single six, and it's fairly expensive, I think, maybe for a starter gun. So that's kind of what you have here, a less expensive version of that. So we'll wrap up with some rounds going off. How's that? I'll fire 6 more. And by the way, it has the transfer bar. I meant to point that out. So you see, that's the thing you get with the modern single actions. So when you drop the hammer, you pull the trigger, it's against that transfer bar that pushes the firing pin. Okay. And I've got a video called Hickok Was Wrong, or something like that. It's the first one of those we've done, where I was kind of making up for explaining this backwards, because some firearms are just the opposite. Some of them keep the hammer off the firing pin. This one transfers the energy through that bar there as a transfer bar. So if I let off the trigger, look what happens. It disappears. So the hammer goes down and it doesn't push the firing pin enough. Okay, so you have to have that bar up there for it to work. And it only is there if the trigger is pulled. So I let off the trigger. If I let the hammer fall, it would not fire. See, you got that with these guns too. Okay, so what did I say I was going to fire? Yeah, 6 more, and then make you go away. How's that? Oh yeah, the reason I even brought that up, I meant to do it anyway, but I normally load 5 in you know, Colt single actions, the old action of course, but since this is a 22 and it has the transfer bar, you can load as many as you want. You could carry it in a holster and, you know, hit the hammer. It's not going to fire. The trigger has to be pulled, as I just showed you, for these to fire. Trigger has to be pulled. Okay. Otherwise, it will not go bang. So you can put 6 in there and carry it. Let's put a couple on that propane tank. How's that? Oh, you know what? We've not put one or tried the gong, have we? Let's try the gong. I'm not sure where I'd have to hold. I'll try to listen for it, see if I hit it. I think I got it. I don't know, I thought I heard it the first time. Let's try the propane tank with the last couple. Click. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to hear if it doesn't hit it very hard. I may not have hit it at all. I thought I heard a little ringing on the first one. Might have just been the ringing in my ears. So yeah, single action, 22, the Wrangler. Okay. That seems to to bring Cowboys to mind, doesn't it? The Wrangler, pretty cool name. So anyway, that's I can't come up with a lot of negatives. It just sort of is what it is. It's a low-end, inexpensive 22 single action, with a cast frame and grip and everything, and trigger guard. And I guess the housing on the barrel is cold hammer forged. Even though it's a big, thick barrel, it doesn't seem to be sleeved. So I'm assuming they mean the entire barrel is cold hammer forged. It's steel, just like the chamber or the cylinder. So yeah, unless all that bothers you, it might be something you want to look at if you're contemplating a single action 22. So it looks pretty nice, and you got 3 choices if you don't like this particular one. So I don't know. So I mean, the fit is fine. It's not like exquisite or anything. I have some firearms where the grips are better fit, and everything, but they're a whole lot more expensive, right? So the Ruger Wrangler 22 long rifle. There it is. Something you might want to consider, just to exercise the cowboy in you or cowgirl in you. So glad you came by. Always appreciate it coming over here on the Gong Club. It's nice being over here in the shade and on the Gong Club range. It's a great place to shoot. So we'll talk to you later, and y'all have a great evening. Life is good.
That's not bad. Oh hey, just measuring this 15-shot group. Since I've got you here, I want to remind you to check out our friends over at SDI and Talon Grips. SDI is a fully accredited online distance learning program where you can get an associate's degree in firearms technology or become certified in gunsmithing. So check them out at sdi.edu. They also accept GI Bill, so be aware of that. Talon gun grips, you may be aware of those. Dad's been using them for a long time. Essentially a grip tape that goes around the grip of your handgun, just like this, around the grip, and gives you a much better grip, and you're not stuck with basically the grip that comes from the factory on the pistol, because it's not like the old days with 1911s where you just change out the grips. A lot of these more modern handguns don't give you that option, so you have to either just stick with what you got or wrap something around the outside. So check them out if it makes sense for you. And also, don't forget to go to our website, hickok45.com. We have a bunch of stuff over there for you guys to check out. We actually have our videos now on gunstreamer.com, so please check that out. Don't forget about our social media. Don't forget to look in the description also. There's a lot of information there. The description of the video and the website, hickok45.com. But our social media at The Real Hickok45 on Instagram, Hickok45 on Facebook and Twitter. There's John_Hickok45 on Instagram, but you can't guess who that is. What else? I think that's all I was going to tell you guys. Oh yeah, our merchandise. You can find our merchandise at bunkerbranding.com. We have this shirt, at least as I'm making this video, available. And we've got some hats. Just go check it out. It's going to change what we have available at different times. So if you like something, maybe go ahead and jump on it. But the main thing is hickok45.com, and support the people who support us whenever it makes sense for you. As always, I really appreciate you guys still watching these videos after so long and so many years. It means so much to us, and it's been such a fun experience, and we appreciate you guys, and see you later.